Far side, light this bitch up.
Yo, what's up? It's your boy Tropics. We back again. So I promised that I'd drop power rankings this week. I forgot to do it last week, as you might know. I did do power rankings last week. I just didn't post the video. I kind of got busy. Didn't have enough time to do it. But as you can see on that side of the screen, that was my last week's rankings. A lot has changed because I don't know, like the Panthers are gonna move up a lot. They're surprising me. They haven't played like great teams, but you know, they're winning. They're undefeated. You'll see. But if you have any questions, want to hit me up, want to join in a video, do a collab, anything, let me know. Those are my socials right there. You can hit me up: Discord, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, Instagram. I might throw in my Snapchat next time. We'll see. But other than that, we will get started here. All right, so we're gonna start from the bottom. Last week I had Jacksonville all the way at the bottom, and they're going to stay there. Jacksonville they haven't been playing good at all. Trevor Lawrence is doing So, I mean, Marvin Jones playing good. The receiving core is good. Running game has been kind of awful. They're not even using James Robinson like they should. They're using Carlos Hyde more, not more than James Robinson, but they're kind of getting like equal shares. The Jaguar, it's pretty obvious that the last team on my power rankings. All right, Jets. I actually had the Jets at 29, I believe, because they actually. Who did they play that first week? Okay, so the Jets played the Panthers week 1. They didn't like do anything crazy or anything. It's just they did show like signs of like Zach Wilson being good and Corey Davis and them looking good, decent, like bottom tier of the NFL type stuff, but still decent. But then they go and play the Patriots, and then Zach Wilson throws 4 interceptions, and yeah, they get their ass whooped. So I'm gonna move the Jets down to 31. They'll probably, if Zach Wilson improves, they'll probably move. But Detroit is gonna stay where it is. They're just a bottom tier team in the league. You can't really change much of that. Their run game is decent. They got Jamal Williams and DeAndre Swift. Jared Goff has been playing better than I expected him to play, but they're still not doing very good. They've also played 2 very good teams, so it's not really their fault. But if you want to win games, you gotta perform, and they're just not doing that. Atlanta at 29. I'm pushing them down 1. Last week they kind of I don't know. I pushed them down 1 because other people needed room to move up and move down. But they actually did pretty decent against the Bucks for the majority of the game, and then towards the end, you know, Tom Brady and all of them decided just to shit on them. So, yeah, I'm just going to move them down to 29. I think that's a good spot. Their defense is kind of garbage. It is garbage. Their offense is the only bright spot, and it's really not even that bright. You have Matt Ryan, who's old. Calvin Ridley's great. Kyle Pitts showed a little bit more against the Buccaneers than he did week 1. But yeah, other than that, 29 seems like a reasonable spot in my opinion. All right, moving on to the 25 through 28. At 28, I got the Houston Texans. Houston has actually been surprising me a little bit this year. I'm kind of surprised at the fact that they're actually keeping games close. They're making a push to win games. They kept it close week 1. Week 2, they kept it decently close, but they were playing a top team in the AFC and the Browns. So I have no complaints about the Houston Texans. This video is being made after they played the Panthers, and they did lose to the Panthers, but they did decent against the Panthers. I mean, they were on their backup quarterback who nobody knows. Tyrod Taylor was out. Brandon Cooks was doing Brandon Cooks things. The run game it's interesting, but when you have 3 running backs that could be running back 1s on certain teams, then you're probably going to have a good run game. But other than that, they're still a bottom tier team. But yeah, moving on, we got the New York Giants. They actually moved up in my power rankings from last week. They lost last week, but they kept it close with Washington, who I think is like a top 20 team in the NFL. I thought they were going to win that game. They should have won that game. But I'm kind of glad Washington won that game because I kind of had bets on them and stuff. But yeah, New York is the Giants are the Giants. They're always bottom tier recently in the past like 5-6 years. But yeah, their pass game is probably going to get better. Daniel Jones getting more in tune with Kenny Golladay. He's already in tune with Sterling Shepard and Darius Slayton. And then Evan Ingram, I think, is coming back this week. I cannot confirm that. But also the Giants defense has been doing pretty decent, a lot better than they used to be. The only problem I have with the Giants is that, or like a serious problem I have with the Giants is that their offensive line is just fucking awful. And like Saquon, I want Saquon to do good, and then when your offensive line isn't, blocking for you, how are you supposed to, be good? But yeah, free Saquon from New York. That's definitely a petition I'm up for. At 26, I have the Bengals. This might seem a little low for everybody. I'm just not bought into it. I mean, Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, great offense. The only bright spot on their defense is like Jesse Bates. I can't really think of anybody off the top of my head that is gonna carry them to a championship or something. Like they're just not very good on defense. But offensively, if Joe Burrow keeps getting better and progressively getting better, I could see this team being in the top 20 by the end of the year. But for now, they're definitely a bottom half tier team. At 25, I have the Vikings. They're staying where they are. They put up a decent fight against the Cardinals, and they should have won the game. If they would have won the game, it would have been a lot different of a story. We'd probably have them in like the 17-18 area in my power rankings, but they did lose. They always seem to lose on field goals. It's like a trait with them. They did it to my Seahawks back in I want to say that was the 2017 wild card game. I can't remember. It was the ice cold ass game. It was like below 10 degrees or something. But yeah, great offense, horrible defense, and they're not winning games. And they're playing the Seahawks next, so they're probably going to either fall or we'll see. But yeah, moving on to my 21 through 24. At 24, I have the Bears. They're only moving down. They're moving down a little bit, just one spot. It's because a lot of other teams are pushing into this area, and then a lot of teams are pushing out of this area into the top 20s. So yeah, that's why the Bears are at 24. The Bears defense isn't the Bears defense I'm used to seeing personally. I remember a couple years, or last year and 2 years before that, and blah blah blah. That 3-year span, they had a very, very good defense, and Khalil Mack isn't really performing. They basically just, they did, didn't they? They just got rid of Kyle Fuller, so I don't know. The Bears are interesting. Justin Fields is supposed to start this Sunday. That might be an interesting thing, but I don't see them winning the game. So yeah, I'm just rankings wise, I see the Bears at the spot that they're at right now. Dolphins, I have at 23. The Dolphins could be better. Tua just went out, which sucks. He went out last week. It seems crazy for me to drop them so many spots, but I have to move teams up into it's kind of a mess. But Dolphins at 23, I think that's reasonable. They're not gonna have Tua probably for, I don't know. He's probably gonna be. I think they put him on IR. I don't know, because he has broken ribs and stuff. So yeah, and Jacoby Brissett, I think that's how you say his first name. I just don't see him carrying the Dolphins into the playoffs or anything. You just can't. The defense maybe can carry them all the way, but that's about it. Washington at 22. They're dropping 6 spots even though they won last week. I know that sounds crazy, but they kind of almost lost to the Giants, and them almost losing to the Giants is like, I don't know how to put it. You shouldn't be losing to the Giants if you want to contend for the NFC East title. But I don't think they're going to win it this year. I thought they were going into the season. I don't think they are. I think that's all for the boys taking the Cowgirls. Colts at 21. I don't like dropping the Colts. They're still a great team. They've just been playing hard competition. When you play the Seahawks and then the Rams back to back, I mean, you're probably bound to go 0-2. But yeah, they're still a good team. I mean, if Carson Wentz can stay healthy, they'll have a decent QB1. They have a great defense. They have one of the best offensive lines in the league, one of the best running games in the league. The receiving core is kind of but other than that, the Colts are a good team. They should be a playoff contender, but I don't know, not as of right now. All right, moving on to the 17 to 20. I have the Philadelphia Eagles at 20. They lost last week and they go up a spot. It's just the movement. It's all weird. The movement will get better as time progresses. But I have the Eagles at 20. I think that's a good spot. They did lose to the 49ers. Their offense wasn't as explosive as it was week 1 against the Falcons. But San Francisco has a great defense, if we're just being completely honest. And they just kind of got shut out. When you score 11 points, that doesn't look good on your offensive resume, but defensively I felt like they did pretty good. They held a 49ers offense that is pretty solid, only to 17 points, and I found that pretty interesting because they held the Falcons offense to 6 points in week 1. I think the Eagles defense is better than we thought going into the season, but I think 20 is a good spot for the Eagles at the moment. They'll probably move up in the rankings as time progresses. It depends on who they play and how they play the people they play. Wow, that was a tongue twister. All right. I have the Patriots at 19. It's just the Patriots. I mean, like, if Mac Jones becomes anything like TB12, not even like, he doesn't even have to come close. Just with Bill Belichick and Mac Jones and the way he's learning the playbook, the Patriots are going to be good. The receiving core is kind of Run game is all, I mean, Damian Harris fumbles all the time. James White, he's just like the receiving back. Defensively, they're still good, but I think 19 is a good spot for them. I don't think they're like a top half team in the league yet. They're getting there, but I just don't think they're there yet. But yeah, at 18, I have the LA Chargers. I thought the Chargers did pretty good against the Cowboys, even though Justin Herbert threw 2 interceptions. One of those interceptions wasn't really his fault. I see the Chargers being probably the second best team in the AFC West, even though you can see I have the Broncos ahead of them right now, but that makes sense because Chargers are 1-1 and the Denver Broncos are 2-0. But yeah, nothing really crazy to say about the Chargers. They're gonna get better as the season progresses. Yeah. So I have the Denver Broncos at 17. That might seem low because they're an undefeated team. I haven't really bought into them yet. Like, they've played the Jaguars and the New York Giants, and they've won both games. I mean, I can't really buy into a team that's just beating not very good teams. And now they play the Jets this Sunday. So, I mean, nothing crazy from the Broncos. Teddy Bridgewater looks good. Jerry Jeudy was a big hit getting injured, but Cortland Sutton's back. We got Noah Fant. Yeah, other than that, Melvin Gordon and Javonte Williams, good running duo. Defensively, the Broncos are probably a top 10 defense in the league. So I think 17 is a good spot. I just don't think they cracked the top 16 teams in the league yet. Speaking of that, we're going to go through 13 through 16. At 16, I have the Carolina Panthers. They are surprising me. I thought they were going to lose multiple games. Their defense looks good. Sam Darnold looks good. CMC going out a couple nights ago is a huge hit, but I think Hubbard will be able to take that load from Christian while he's out and do good with it. Receiving core wise, DJ Moore is a beast. Robbie Anderson's not been doing much. Their rookie, I can't remember his first name, but it's something Marshall Jr. He's pretty good. Defensively, all those draft picks they spent, I think it was last year, on fucking just straight defensive players, it's working out. Like, their defense looks good. All right, enough said about the Panthers. They move up 10 spots on my list. I'm actually pretty impressed by them. The Saints are going to move down 6 spots on my list. They made me fall into their little trap after they kicked the absolute shit out of the Packers, and now they look like an average team, like I thought they would be at the beginning of the season. And Jameis Winston looked like the Jameis Winston everybody knows, Mr. Interception. Anything else? The Saints, Alvin Kamara hasn't really been performing like I'd expect from him. Michael Thomas should be coming back soon. That'll probably help a little bit. Other than that, the receiving core is kind of ass. I mean, yeah, that's not very good. Their defense, on the other hand, is really good. Their defense has been very solid this season so far. But yeah, I think 15 is a good spot for them. They're still like a top half team in the league. That is definitely for sure, especially when you have Peyton as your head coach. All right, Tennessee at 14. I really don't want to talk about Tennessee because, they beat my Seahawks, but we will. They come off of a huge loss against Arizona. Everybody thinks they're garbage, including me, and we go into the game, and it looked like that for a minute. We held Derrick Henry to a very small amount of yards in the first half, and then all of a sudden he just exploded in the second half and just single-handedly carried. Well, not single-handedly. Julio Jones was popping off too. But, yeah, the Titans look good. Derrick Henry is probably the best running back in the league behind Christian McCaffrey when he's healthy. And the receiving core is obviously great. Julio Jones, A.J. Brown. Ryan Tannehill's not the best thrower of the football, but he's definitely a above-average quarterback. Defensively, they don't look good, though. That's the only problem I have with Tennessee is their defense, but their offense looks good. All right, at 13, I have the Raiders. I'm kind of buying into the Raiders. As you can see, they go up 6 spots. They beat the Ravens and the Steelers for their first 2 games. I mean, those are 2 huge fucking wins, and they're leading in the AFC West, tied with the Broncos. When the divisional games start happening in the AFC West, it's going to be interesting. I think the Raiders are not. They have a better record than the Chiefs, but they usually have like this fall off in the second half of the season, so we'll see. I think the Raiders finish 3rd. God, the AFC West is actually pretty tough. It's almost like the NFC West this year. The Chiefs will finish number 1. That's no question about that. I'm honestly debating on who finishes 2nd and 3rd in that division, but that's for the end of the season to know. All right, moving on to my 9 to 12. At 12, I got the Cowboys, Cowgirls, whatever you want to call them. They look good. They don't look bad. They look pretty fucking solid. I can't lie. Dak Prescott, Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, Ezekiel Elliott, Tony Pollard's looking good. Their offense just looks explosive, and their defense is better. Their defense was really bad, I believe, the last 2 seasons, and they look good. Like, they don't look too bad. I believe they will win the NFC East. Maybe not with maybe like a 9-8 record, maybe a 10-7 record. We'll see, something like that. But yeah, they're a top 12 team in my opinion right now as we stand here. But yeah, coming in at 11, down 4 spots from the previous week, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers go out, beat the Bills week 1, come out, lose to the Raiders week 2. I don't know how to judge the Steelers ever. Like, each season, they're just like last year. They started off 11-0, didn't they, or something like that? And then they lose in the wild card. Like, you can't. I don't know. You just can't. I don't know. The Steelers are just an interesting team. I'll just leave them at 11 for now. I think that's fair. San Francisco at 10. I think this is also very fair. People are kind of overhyping them a little too much. I know I'm a Seahawks fan and I'm saying that, but whatever. I think 10's a good spot. They beat the Detroit Lions and the the Lions almost came back and beat them. So, and then they beat the Eagles by 6 points. So, I mean, they're not like killing teams out here. They're just keeping games close. And I think next week, week 4, I feel like Seattle's going to run all over them, hopefully. But yeah, Green Bay, I have at 9. They come back off of a huge loss to the Saints, as we all know. One of Aaron Rodgers' worst games ever. And he's had a very long career. But no, they come back and they did really good. Aaron Rodgers looked good. Devontae Adams looked good. Aaron Jones looked great. He looked like the Aaron Jones that we're used to. Defensively, not the best defensive team, but they're hanging on. They're like a top half team in the defensive category. But yeah, I think 9's a good spot for Green Bay. Usually Green Bay is up in the top 5. That first game kind of just knocked them out for a little bit. But yeah, they're up 2 spots from 11 last week. And moving on to 5 through 8. At 8, I have the Cardinals. They're staying where they are. They barely beat the Vikings, but they still look good offensively. Defensively, they look decent. But yeah, they're the Cardinals. Kyler Murray's going to do his thing. He's a little midget that runs around and is like really good at football. DeAndre Hopkins might not be playing this week, so that might be a big hit to them. But yeah, I don't really have much else to say about the Cardinals. They're a top 10 team in the NFL right now. Ravens, on the other hand, so week 1 they go out. I believe it was Monday night. And yeah, Monday night, lose to the Raiders. Big loss. Everybody thought the Ravens are a top 10 team, like unanimously, but then they go out and lose to a team like the Raiders. But lo and behold, we find out the Raiders are actually decent at football this year. But then the Ravens come back, play the Chiefs the next week. Everybody voted against the Ravens, and then the Ravens come out and win. So, I mean, when you beat the Chiefs, you're going to go up in my power rankings. You're going to go up in pretty much everybody's power rankings. So I think 7's a good spot for them. Yeah, they still look like a top team in the AFC. They do every year since Lamar got there. But, yeah, we'll see how shit progresses. Seattle down 3 spots to 6. They looked great. I had them at 3. That seems a little high now that I think about it. But, yeah, they go out week 1. They poop on the Colts. Made me think they were going to go poop on the Titans, which they did. They pooped on the Titans for a very good minute. And then all of a sudden they just decided not to, get first downs and run out the clock and shit, and then give Tennessee a huge advantage to go and win that game. And that was not very intriguing as a Seahawks fan to see. But, it is what it is. They're still a top 6-7 team in the league. That's pretty much unanimous. I don't even have to say that being a Seahawks fan. They'll probably go out and beat the Vikings this week, hopefully on Sunday. But yeah. Also, Russell Wilson is 7-0 against the Vikings in his career, so that's pretty good statistics going in the Seahawks' favor. I have the Browns at 5. They go out, beat the Texans. There's not really much to say about the Browns. They're a top 5 team in the NFL. Like, they're just a top 5 team in the NFL. Baker Mayfield looks decent. Jarvis Landry going out is kind of big. Odell's coming back, though, so it's basically just switching off receivers. They just get injured, the other one covers. The other one gets injured, the other one covers. That's how it feels like it goes in Cleveland. I can't talk today, Jesus. But yeah, their defense is still a top 5 defense in the league, in my opinion. Yeah, there's not really much to say about the Browns. I just think they're going to be a top 10 team this year. Contend in the AFC for sure. All right, and then my top 4 teams. I have Tampa going up 1. My bad. I got the Bills going up 1. They were at 5 last week. Yeah, they lose to the Steelers week 1. I didn't really have any. I knew they would bounce back from that, and then they just go and absolutely annihilate the Dolphins. So yeah, top 4 team sounds about right. Not much to say. Kansas City surprisingly goes out and loses to Baltimore. So I had Kansas City as my best team in the league, and now they dropped down to 3 just for the single fact that they lost to the Ravens. I was not expecting that. Patrick Mahomes definitely I mean, he had a good game, but he could have had a better game. Tyreek Hill was basically non-existent in that game. So yeah, Chiefs down to 3. They'll probably be back at 1 at some point. We'll see. Rams at 2. They go up from 4. They didn't. I don't like the Rams, but this is a good spot for them. They go up 2 spots because week 1 they win and week 2 they win, and they're a 2-0 team, just like the Bucs. And they have a top offense in the league and a top defense in the league, just like Tampa Bay at number 1 with a top offense and a top defense in the league. Yeah, so 1 and 2 pretty much, and they get to play this week, so we get to see the 1 and 2 teams play. I wish it was the Chiefs and the Bucs, but you know, we'll see. The 1 and 2 teams on my power rankings play this week. But yeah, that's my power rankings for the week. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me turn this up. Hope you guys enjoyed. Yeah. So I'll try to do one of these power ranking videos every week. Upcoming videos, we'll do our week 4 picks coming up. We might do some reactions to like funny commentaries over football videos, our football highlights. But yeah, I hope everybody has a great week 3 of the NFL season coming up tomorrow. Can't wait to watch my fantasy team lose. Just kidding, I'm undefeated. I did not dab, I promise. But yeah, hope everybody has a great day, night, whatever it is for you. Make sure to stay tuned. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. But yeah, guys, have a great night. Deuces.